All right, everybody, we are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. And on today's show, I have a very special guest, a dear brother of mine, Mr. Fitzgerald Stephens. I've known this brother now for 11 years. 11 years now. So he's definitely family. And I was about to cancel this show because, I noticed this red polo he had on with a Alabama logo on it. So, but it's okay. We all make mistakes in life, and Fitzgerald is my brother, and we have to accept him as he is because he is my brother. So, just excuse the Alabama polo he has on, but again, we all make mistakes, and we just have to accept the brother the way he is. So, without further ado, welcome once again to brother Fitzgerald Stephens.
Dynas, I appreciate it. I'd like to say hello to your audience and everyone out there listening. And sir, it's an honor to sit and speak with your audience again. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. And today's topic is there's no job security in corporate America. Your job security is only you. And, we have to continue to have this conversation, and we're going to once a week, hopefully every Tuesday, just really in regards to taking control of your own destiny. And, a little bit about me, I worked in corporate America for almost, I would say 10, 11 years. I know Fitzgerald definitely has more experience than me, but, often we tend to sometimes get a little too comfortable. And sometimes when you get too comfortable and when your job, lets you go, or you get unexpectedly, and it's usually unexpectedly when you get let go, when they pull that rug from out of you, from under you, it can be a huge shock, not only to you, but also to your family. So you always want to be in position to where you can control your own destiny, where if something were to happen, you just keep it moving. So, Brother Fitzgerald, anything you want to add to that?
You're absolutely right. I think what a lot of us had, and I know I suffered from this one time. We can see situations happen to various people all around us, and we can actually have our denial. You can actually think, oh wow, man, you hear about so and so, they got sick and they have to take up a GoFundMe page and didn't have any insurance, or you hear about so and so, wow, they got let go for their quota. But you seem to think that you're doing all right, as if you can look at all these great people, some through no fault of their own, these unfortunate things happen where their livelihood is gone, and you think you're secure, and especially if you have got a plaque. Keep in mind, the plaques often come with no money. Nice, little shiny thing. I can go pick them at a trophy store all day long if you want. If you get these recognition, but no thing attached to it. You can be today's golden boy or golden gal, and tomorrow they're giving you the side eye, and then day after that they're throwing hints, and then day after that your password is locked out, and you're walking out the door with a box. And unfortunately, it's not happening just in sectors. It's happening in all sectors. Especially with all.
Not to cut you off. What I'm gonna do? Keep going. I'm gonna go run and get some of my plaques real quick. I know I see a bunch on top of your desk. Let me get some of these plaques, and then we
can. All right.
But go ahead and continue. Let me run and get them.
So it would behoove us to look at the options. Like, hey, if something is happening, if something's going around, and they're doing this to the next gal or next girl, who was or the next guy, or who is way more talented than me, been here longer than me, has more experience than me, it would be naive for me to think that something, maybe possibly the same thing can happen to me. We've heard about the statistics, and numbers matters. We heard like a lot of people are like 3 paychecks away from homelessness. Well, I'll give you the extra. I'll give you like a 4 paycheck, depending on, let's say you get paid weekly, 4 paychecks, and your lifestyle could evaporate. I don't care if you're making 6 figures or $6 an hour. Without that income, your whole house of cards, and literally when you work for someone, or you have your livelihood or your finances or you're living dependent upon someone else, literally you are walking in a house of cards. And so those things have got to be addressed. You know, I come from a farm in Southeast Alabama, a little very small town. You know, about 100 people, but we raised livestock, and we had a simple way of living. I grew up under a man who I never seen work a job. My grandfather, he was a farmer, very, very successful farmer, you know, so his day consisted of gets up 5:30 in the morning, sometime like that. He would go to the field, take care of his business. You know, we would go there and basically tend to the livestock, my brother and I. And by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, he was on the porch, you know, sitting and taking a nap. We had our own gas tanks on the property. You know, and I'm not exaggerating. 30 to 40 people could show up in any given day, and we could feed them because we literally had deep freezers full of food and full of supplies, and you know, and so I didn't know what it was to be hungry or being lacking until I left home. You know, so that shaped my mind. You know, I was used to a man who literally was a walk-in credit center. You know, his name was good enough for me and my brothers and I to go down to the clothing store and pick out our school clothes just simply on his name. You know, it's impeccable reputation. The man didn't have the high school diploma, but he owned acres and acres and acres of land. You know, his dream was to have his family, you know, take over the farm. And unfortunately, none of us never did. But so I was brought up on entrepreneur before I understood what it was. So it gave me a different mindset. Yeah, I wanted to go to college. You know, I was blessed to go to a very good school. I did my first year at Alabama State in Montgomery, and finally I wound up graduating out of the University of Alabama. And you know what? You're talking to a man. I'm 54 years old. You're talking to a man who I went and got the degree. I kept my nose clean. You know, I didn't have the criminal record. I followed the rules. I put my nose to the ground. I worked hard. I stayed late, and I gave it the old Boy Scout try. But still, yet it wasn't enough. I wasn't finding satisfaction. I was still getting these low-paying jobs, which in turn made me feel like I had to find some way to get income, and I never could create it. And so I've been walked off of jobs too. I've been walked off of jobs like before Christmas, even though after they gave us a Christmas bonus, my key was deactivated. I didn't know it. I've been walked off of jobs because a supervisor didn't like me, or maybe a political party, or you know, when you get off there. So it all put me back in the same situation. Diane, I'm like, what am I going to do? So before I understood how to create equity, you know, I was at a disadvantage. I thought my equity lied in like going to Dynas. Hey, is there something I can do? Do you have a job for me? You know, and finally
you know, I always looked out.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. And stuff and stuff. But a man or a woman, is something in their heart cries that I can build something of my own. There's something that God Almighty has put in our spirit, in our very being, that I can build something of my own. You know, I have more in me than what I'm getting. I have more in me that I have something to give the world also. Some of us just don't know how to tap into it. Or even those of fortunate few who know how to tap into it. If you don't have a vehicle to drive you there, or fly you there, or you know, or ferry you there, you are going to fail. You know, if you don't have capital, a lot of times you're going to fail. But the bottom line is, you got to build something of your own.
And then, brother, I went and retrieved my Centos Facilities Service Rep of the Year trophy. I was the #1 rep in the company, and this was fiscal year 2014. So just wanted to share that. And you know, we're in 2019, and I'm no longer with the company. You know, and things change. Again, when we talk about controlling your own destiny, you know, the comp plan changes, you know, your territory shrinks. And again, they don't care about this. Like, this doesn't matter. You know, obviously when the new year comes around, you start at 0. So just wanted to share that with you guys. In fact, I'll leave it right here. There you go. I'll leave it right there. Bam. There we
Well, it's
go.
very significant, Dinas. You know, it's like achieving. I got one too, and you guys can't see this photo, but you know, I'll just explain to it. That's me in the middle with the CEO of the former company I used to work with, as well as the chief financial officer, and I had just received an award too for outstanding sales. You know, within the company. The next year. You know, the next year, it was like, what's wrong with you, Fitzgerald? Or, you know, my quota had went down so much, you know, that my job was threatened, and ultimately I was you know, let go of the company. And I'm going to say this: the company did right by me. Company did good by me. You know,
Hey,
I
I'm gonna
mean,
say this. Cintas did right by me
you
too.
know,
You know,
company did good. They supported me. They gave me everything I need. But my thing is, you know, I couldn't perform. Got illness. Went through a couple of personal things. You know, no fault of my own. Just was to have some deep blows. And I learned, you know, companies can't pay you if you're not producing. It's a wash. They don't owe you anything. And so, it doesn't state the fact that my income was gone. You know, I had to you know, go back out again and hunt. And you know, and so they keep going on that roller coaster. I'm like, God, there has to be a better way. And fortunately for me, I found it. Fortunately for Dinance, he found it.
now Fitzgerald, people who are working for corporate America and don't have a side business or a second job, but we don't want to say second job, but they're not working something on the side. What kind of advice can you give them? Or in fact, how dangerous is that to just be
Well,
relying on one source of income?
it's extraordinarily dangerous. And you know, I'm going to try to watch my speech. Maybe I'm a little bit too direct. I'm really trying
No,
to.
no, no. You watch it. Come on, Fitzgerald. Be direct.
You're not a fool, but you're being foolish to do that. Once again, you know, you don't know what happens to you. Forget about you. What happens to your family if your income is not coming in? What happens if you're driving to work, all of a sudden you have you hit someone, and you know you're fine, they're fine, but they find out that, you know, that they want to go get a lawyer and extract everything you got. It happens all the time. You know,
Right.
what happens if you for you go in for the checkup, and all of a sudden someone says, hey, I see this growth in your body, and we need to run tests. And then you find out that it's something that came out the blue that you're not prepared for. Hey, it happened to me. I had a growth, and I'm not even going to call the illness and stuff, but it was a major deal. I told the doctor hey, I'm feeling fine. What you're describing to me, I don't have the lifestyle to support that. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do anything. Yet there it was. And you know what? And I tell you, fear came over me. And a good part of fear came on because, like, wow, not only I realized my mortality, but like, how am I going to pay this? I thought I had good insurance, Didas. But I got in there, man, and you realize your insurance is not as strong as you think. You're paying out all these co-pays and stuff like that, and everything is at risk. So it's not a matter of a side hustle. You must have multiple streams of income. I don't care if you go out there and create a hot dog stand. I don't care if you go out there and create an Amazon channel. I don't care, if you go out there and do Uber Lyft on the side, or something that brings more than one income in. Now, the holy grail of that is that you get an income that keeps coming in, whether you're doing something or not. Dinas, at this stage in my life right now, I'll be 55 in September 8th. And you guys hear us say that, yeah, he's saying that. Why is that significant? Because there was a time when I was like 25, and it didn't seem like so long ago. I mean, it just didn't. It just went by so darn fast. And and I don't feel like what a 54-year-old supposed to be, but I know it's upon me, and I know if the next couple of years go by as fast as the other one, I know there's some decisions I'm going to have to make. So I'm looking at, okay, what's going to happen when I can no longer do what I do, or better yet, I don't want to do it. And so I didn't start looking at just making another income. No. At this point, Dinas, what I think in is royalties, residuals, or dividends. Royalties, residuals, dividends. That's what I'm looking. Royalty, residuals, and dividend. And some of you guys right now, and I hope I can reach somewhere like some teenagers or some people in a young their 20s or even their 30s. I hope you can understand this right now. Your time is extraordinary precious. God only gives us a certain amount. He doesn't tell us how much. It is extraordinary precious. If you can get your time back, you've got your life back. So you can't. I'm one of those guys that believe that there's only so much you can do. There's only so much you can do. You have to find a way to duplicate your time. You got to. It's called leverage. You must. Not that it would be nice, not that it would be cool. It is a requirement in this day and age. You have got to leverage your time, meaning that what you do, and what others do, you get paid for what other people efforts also. We see it in the franchising all day long. We see it on people's jobs, where you got the president. President is getting paid for all of those workers, up under him or her. They're supposed to one with the visionary. Okay. And the visionary should get paid the most because out of their head created everything else. But understand like this, and I said it last week, your boss is never going to pay you enough to live in his neighborhood. You're not going to get that.
You got to repeat that. Repeat that again.
Your boss is never going to pay you enough to live in his neighborhood. And on another note of that I was going to church, and my old pastor at McDonough, Georgia, Pastor Eddie Mason, he said this when we talked about sports, Diane. So we're both big sports enthusiasts. He said, it's impressive that a ball player makes $20 million a year. That's really impressive. And he's talking to the congregation. He said, what's more impressive? The man that can pay the man who make the $20 million a year.
Right, exactly.
So just think about that. If you don't get anything out of this call today, what I want you to do, not only think, but I want you to be moved into action to say, what can I create that in addition to what I'm already making? What can I create? And then once you take that step, how can I at least pay the money that I'm using to pay the bills, with what I'm paying? How can I create another income at least to pay that? And then after you get that second step, you want to go to the third step. How can I replace the income that I'm doing now? Those are the three things you want to think in.
Guys, let's hit this like button. Make sure you hit that like button as you come into the chat room, please. We have Fitzgerald Stephens, and the topic is there's no job security in corporate America. Your job security is only you. Now, Fitzgerald, let me ask you this. I started to wake up maybe 3 years ago. Why does it take some longer to wake up and figure out or come to the realization that corporate America is not a permanent solution? Why is it for some it takes them a while to figure that out, and for some it hits them immediately?
Okay, it'll be a couple of things, but that's an extraordinary good question, and that is the question that all of us must answer. Number one, man, is education, our value system. Hey, you know what? I was taught you get it. I was taught even after I was giving a little bit of my story while you was gone about how I grew up under an entrepreneur. So my education was a little bit different, but I got away from that, and I was taught go to college, get a good job, get a degree, get a good job, stay at that job, and that job is going to take care of you. Or I was taught that, through erroneous church teachings, like it's somehow glorified to be poor, or like God is somewhat against money. You're going to get yours in a sweet by and by, and when we come to heaven, listen, I'm not knocking that. I'm a Christian. I'm believing in the Lord Jesus Christ. I don't bet no big thing, but I'm just saying the way I was taught was actually stagnating my thinking. I wasn't setting up under I didn't know what a business plan was. I didn't know how to formulate a plan of action. I didn't know how to set goals. You can go through from kindergarten through 4 years of college, and you would never receive a class on how to set goals. Ladies and gentlemen, that's by design. That's by design. You know, the rich people, they don't teach them when they go to their school, they teach them how to run the rest of us. They teach them about gold. They teach them about tax shelter. They teach them about creation of wealth. They teach them about they teach them how to think like an employer instead of employee. It's a vast difference. So you got your environment, which means your upbringing, whether it's family. Hey, listen, you ain't never seen anybody make a lot of money. You know, don't expect you're gonna do it. Not unless you somehow break the cycle and you become exposed to it. You know, I grew up on welfare. You know, when single mothers raised by my grandfather and dad helped. You know, so we had to have dependent from the state. You know, and listen, well, I'm the oldest of 3 sons. Myself, I think I contributed to society. My younger brother is in the financial service industry in a major city in the Southeast. My youngest brother is a corporate attorney making a major impact in his region. So don't tell me because of where you came from. We made choices that we wanted to be better. Don't tell me because of your skin color or your sex that you can't do it. But I had a dream, to want more. I had a dream to want to do better. And it particularly started, Dynas, really caught on fire when I was an undergrad at the University of Alabama. I got over there.
I'm going to make this disclaimer. Anybody else that says roll tide in the chat room, I'm going to ban you.
Now, you guys, I appreciate you guys support my beloved alma mater. I make no qualms about it. But there, I was around a certain type of people, successful Black people, successful white people, successful Asian people, and you know what? I saw it. I saw people who they wasn't worried about how they were going to get around because they had cards. I saw certain people who came from trust funds. They didn't have to get student loans. I saw people, who are when they got out of school, Dynas, some of those people in all color schemes already had jobs waiting for them because they could go in their father's and their mom's business. They could go into family business. They would just get the necessary training. I saw some that would take certain majors. And back then, computer coding was not like it is right now. We had old language like Pascal, COBOL, Coltrane. We had all these different things that was nowhere near like it is right now, but they were picking these avenues in order to put themselves in a position. I started associating out of people I was comfortable with and start getting around new groups of thinking, being Muslims, Caucasians, Asians, and you start to see some of their philosophies. But make no doubt about it, they seem to have a number one thing they want to do was have economic security. It wasn't to be nice to them. It wasn't that it would be nice and that would be cool to have. Dynas, for them not to have it was akin to being in prison. Mm-hmm. I say again, for them not to have it, it was akin to getting in prison. And so you get around that and you start seeing something and you start acting and you start getting around that, and high tides cause all the boats to rise. Then I started reading certain books. I remember The Magic of Thinking Big. Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. I started listening to audio soundtracks by Earl Nightingale, Dennis Wheatley. I started Les Brown. I started listening to these guys that could deprogram this thinking. And then I also went into prayer, like Lord, send me somebody, and all of a sudden different people would come in my life that would add a little bit. It looked like when that lesson was gone, somebody else would come in there. And then I had incredible work ethic. I knew I didn't want you to give me anything for free. All I wanted was an opportunity. All I wanted was a chance to compete. If you beat me out because you're more skilled, okay, great. I need to go back and polish my game. If I lose that because maybe I haven't been there, someone beat me out of it. But what I couldn't tolerate was because I wasn't connected to the right group. What I couldn't tolerate was that I did everything I need to do and I still got passed over. What I couldn't tolerate is when someone comes in there and say, okay, the job pays between this, the job pays between 30 to and taps out of $80,000, and you can't go any further. No matter if you're doing $1 million work, you are in this mode. So what that does, I didn't want to shrink my lifestyle into my income, and I learned when I made money, I associated making money with feeling good. I was feeling good because, you know, it was achieving. Not money is a cure-all, but it's up there right with air, you know, and oxygen it's right up there with it. And so I got addicted to success. And you got to start watching winners, and you got to start looking at the people who are doing what you want to do. I used to be huge into lifting weights, and like you were dynastic in fitness. Well, if a guy had certain body parts, meaning his legs were well developed, or his traps, or his chest, or his abs was very well developed, I didn't go over there and hate on that individual. What I would simply say, what exercise? How did you get that? Show me what you did to get that. You know, I've always admired people who do things and do it in a fashion.
Can I ask? You just made a great point as far as instead of hating on an individual, approaching that individual and asking, how did you get there? What's with this? Why is there so much hate and jealousy, Fitzgerald? Because, you know, a lot of people will, you know, he must be on steroids, or he must be doing that, instead of just going up and just dialoguing with the individual. You know, that happens in sales too. Oh man, he must be selling illegal accounts. You know, why don't people just go and ask if they could shadow an individual to see how they're successful?
Because that individual is lazy. You know, they're like, here's my bowl of porridge. Please put something from your cup in it. Mm-hmm. That's what that comes down to. They're lazy. Listen, I've learned that you know what? Successful people are the ones who give advice the most freely. I say again, successful people are the ones who give advice the most freely. They want to pour into you. They want to show you what they're doing. And listen, a truly successful person, he or she is not intimidated by you. They know who they are. You know, they're not intimidated by your success. They want to see you win. But it's a lot of the way you approach someone. And more important than love in this world, more important than the world love is not the most powerful force on this earth. Respect is. Mm-hmm. Respect. How you approach someone. You know, how you humble yourself like Dynas. You know what, man? I am thinking about putting a podcast together, and I want you a YouTube channel, man. You know, you started out with 1 subscriber. Now you got almost 59,000 people. Can you tell me how you did it? Because, you know, not getting on your podcast, which I have seen. He think he this, or he think he's all that because he thinks because he got the Nigerian citizenship, he's better than anyone else like that. But yeah, you have the same opportunity that Dynas did too. And same thing for the wealthy. A lot of people hate on the wealthy, you know, and I have said and nothing's. You know, why? They went out there and hustle, and you can say, well, not all of them did it, but do you know all of them? I mean, what you're looking for, you're looking to put something together for you. One thing I can say about President Trump right now, he let you know, okay, I'm for the rich. I'm sitting around there for other things. Okay, American first. You can think about what he wants, but what he's doing, he's caused a lot of people to look at themselves. Man, if I don't create something, the way this economy keep going, I'm going to be in trouble. You know, he's not pretensing, he's not guessing it. You know, if the man opened his mouth, the markets, if someone that lost about monies, the markets are reacting to that. And like, you can't be up and down on this roller coaster. So if anything, my logic is, well, you know, if it's getting for the wealthy and the tax breaks are creating for the business owner, well, I better figure out how to beat one. So I can get on in that too. That's the way my mind thinks. How yours thinks, I don't know. But it's just being lazy, you know. And once again, a person who's successful, they for most part want to help you. You know, what do? Take them out to lunch. I have a couple of a husband and wife couple down here in my business, and I needed something from them, you know, and I give back. But you know what? Rather than to come out there and say, rather than me say, hey, Ernest and Rosalind, can you come over here? I need your help with something. You know, they came over. You know what I did first, Dynas? I said, I'm going to feed you. I said, I don't want you, I'm not talking about taking you to Burger King or Dairy Queen. I'm going to give you a good meal. I'm going to feed you. Why did I do that? Because I was showing appreciation for their time. Normally, and they had said, well, no, you don't need to do that. I know I don't, but it's called showing respect out of their time and stuff. And then you sit down at the table, which is the place, a person who is most likely to give you a nugget of information. Golf, when they drop these little sound bites that the rest of the people don't get, and it's an intimate setting, and you go there with a notebook, respecting their time. And they give you an hour, stay an hour. If they give you 10 minutes, stay 10 minutes. Respect their time. If they say that they're going to be there, show up before time. In a break thing. And another thing about a successful person, Don asked, I know you work like this. I don't ask a successful person for advice and not follow it, and then come back and asking for it again. That's an insult. That's an insult. If they're telling you something and you don't at least go out there and try it, but if you just discard opinion, what you're saying is like, I don't value your time, and elders. Oh my God. People will say, well, someone who, if you ain't never been successful at anything, you can't learn from it. Oh man, that's wrong. That's wrong as two left shoes. It's many people who have not been successful that can definitely tell you about landmines they went through, and I suggest you don't repeat it. Experience trumps education any day of the week. I could talk to 20-year-olds and some 30-year-olds and some 40-year-olds because I've been there. I have certain things, and so just little nuggets. And oh, by the way, this is not taught in school. That's why you got to have. That's who you surround yourself is so critical. You need good leadership, and you need someone to take you under his or her wing, and you need to submit to that authority, and humble yourself and learn from them, and then go out and apply what they have told you to do.
Let's see what else we have here in the chat room. Now, Fitzgerald, if we want to, we could go ahead and get into Karatbars, or if there's anything else you want to add.
Well, Karatbars. But first of all, let me set the foundation. You remember when I was talking to you to the audience here about vehicles? Okay, now you say like
and that's a good segue. So people are like, what can I do? What opportunities are out there?
Everyone knows, like, okay, Fitzgerald, my God, man, somebody's probably out there hitting their hand on the desk. I know I need to start a business. Don't tell me what I'll need to know. What I need you, man, is to stop talking and tell me how. Tell me how to do it. Because, I don't got money. I hear that a lot. And I don't got experience. I don't know what to do. Okay, calm down, get a cup of lemonade and, sit back a little bit and hear me out. Okay, you need a vehicle. But what are the components of the vehicle? Ask yourself that. See, you can take, some people can go down and take $3 million and go buy a McDonald's franchise and have to come up with $3-something million plus before they sell their first French fry.
Right.
Some people can go out there and get a permit downtown and start a hot dog business and sit out there, or an ice cream stand, but they still got to buy product. And so they still got to get out there and produce and formulate a plan and build a market and build a share and go out there and work it. Okay, I chose to look at a couple other things. Remember, I said my business, what I deal is I make my money through royalties, residuals, or dividends. Royalties, residuals, or dividends. Royalty, residual, dividend. Other words, I'm doing a job one time, like maybe like someone who would make an album or something like that. Like ask the Michael Jackson or Prince estate how profitable that is, or the Jimi Hendrix estate, or the Janis Joplin estate. Okay, well, I'm not a musician. Well, the concept is the same. You need to find something that A, has low startup costs, B, has unlimited income potential, and C, does not affords you the time to work it when you want to, as well as the tax write also right there. Okay, so I found that vehicle in about 2015. I got a call from a dear friend of mine. I do mean a dear friend, Michael L. Delco down there.
I gotta get him on here one day.
Yeah, he's over in Las Vegas, getting ready to go to Las Vegas now. You know, he does a lot of traveling around the world, literally now. And so Michael and I were friends, and we was actually Bible teachers at his mother's church. You know, so we met each other in ministry. You know, and so Michael called me. Michael called me one day, and he said, "Listen, I got this business, and it deals with gold." Okay, I heard business, Dinaz, but the real big thing is I moved on it because it was Michael. I had a relationship with him. Okay, but make no doubt about it, I had the hunger in my life. I had the drive in my life. I said to my wife, who was actually more big on gold than I was, I said, "Hey, listen, we was living in a 1-bedroom apartment in Buffalo, New York, you know, making about $70,000 a year combined. I drove a 1995 Toyota Camry. She drove a 1999 Toyota Camry. We wasn't so-called balling. We wasn't really doing anything out the ordinary. But, you know, and I can't say we didn't have any money out the month because we were those people, you know, some people who knew how to budget and knew how to, but we wasn't getting anywhere. You know, a couple of years of that, I had lost lost the home back with the economic downturn in 2008. Downturn is a fancy way for saying you ain't got customers, you don't got a job, and you can't maintain your mortgage. So I'm like, what can we do? I have to create something. Keep in mind, I told you guys I was brought up by an entrepreneur. You know, so my thinking was, okay, the heck would keep asking someone for a job. I'm going to get out there and I'm going to get out there and create, but while I'm creating, I got to stick with the job now. So it's just a vicious Ferris wheel. So Michael gives me a call. He said, "Fitzgerald, I got this company, man. And you know, it's free to join and don't cost you anything. And it deals with gold." And before he really got going, I'm like, "Okay, Michael, go ahead and get me set up." Now that was the proper way. And that wasn't the proper way. A proper way. We both made mistakes because I just got set up, but I didn't follow up with Michael. I didn't follow up with Michael and you know, about, hey, what do I do next? So I just sat there. It just sat there, and I went right back to the same thing. Right back to the same thing. It's almost like you can have this excitement for the moment, and I want to get something going, but you don't follow through. You lack follow through skills, and that's a critical thing like that. You got to be able to follow through. You got to be able to follow up steps in order to secure what you want. So lo and behold, about another year and a half go by, and I'm sitting here and I'm sitting in my car because I'm doing outside sales, and I'm doing pretty good, comfortable, not knocking out the park, but comfortable. And another friend of mine and Michael's come on by the name of Sherry Brown. Sherry Brown comes on, and she's talking about what this business has done and what it's doing for her, and it's how it set her and her family free. And I said, okay, that's Sherry. I listened to it, and I called Michael up. You know, I said, man, tell me about this business. And he said, I've been waiting for your call. You have 138 people in there in your group. I said, well, what? He said, I said, how'd that happen? He said, I put them there. I said, okay, then tell me how to get to work. So I looked at it, referral-based marketing, network marketing, call it what you want, but make no doubt about this. Dinaz, that industry has made more multimillionaires than all the other industries combined. That's fact. The startup cost is low. You know, there's no hours that people actually hold you to. No one's calling you that can make you quit. Your ambition takes you as high as you want to go. But the thing I like about this particular one, that its whole product was gold. Its whole product, other word, was money. I never heard anybody say gold is money to me before. You know, here I am about 50 something years old, and I never heard that. I thought if I wanted to get money, I had to save a little bit. I thought, you know, and then I thought I had to get money. I had to pay everyone before I paid myself, which was backwards. The first law of building wealth is pay yourself first. Pay yourself first before you pay the rent, the mortgage, the car note, the gas note, whatever you do, your children's daycare. You pay yourself first. But you must pay yourself in something that's going up in value, an asset. And so lo and behold, that's what we did. I set up, I got involved. I got training, mentorship, like I was just telling you about. And oh, by the way, my mentorship came from my friend Michael Delco. Now, Michael I'm only 3 days older than him. same day, same month, same year, but I'm 3 days older. I'm September 8th, he's September 11th. But I had this, Dinaz. I had the ability to humble myself and submit to someone, even though he was a friend, but he had something I needed. He was at a place I wasn't. So I submitted to his leadership, and he held my hand and put me into a position right now where I'm sitting here giving a podcast to you guys at 141. I have, well, I'm going to just say like this. I know somebody that's similar like myself who has gold. I know someone similar like myself who has financial freedom. I know someone who has their family in a position where it keeps growing. Last night I looked at one of my accounts just by a little tickler gold business, and it was scary to me for what it did. I mean, it was scary to me from where it is right now by simply taking a chance on myself. So Carrot Bars deals with small gold increments. This card right here, for those of you who can see it, or hopefully I can hold it up right here and you can zoom in. Right inside that middle right there, that is a gram of gold. I could take that gram of gold literally and use it to give it to a merchant or give it to someone, and they would accept it for payment of goods or service and debt. It's 99.9% pure, the same that people use to settle debts with countries. And plus, it's London bullion, certified and approved. In a little neat card like that, sealed, microchip, security features, all that. I could take this for goods and service. So remember, I said pay yourself first, but pay yourself in an asset. So what I do, a certain portion of my wealth. In my earnings, I go to pay myself first, but I pay myself in an asset. I choose to pay myself in gold. Sidebar, we are already seeing what gold is doing around the world. We're already seeing it's creeping up. You know why it's creeping up? You know what's driving that? Because with $23 trillion in debt in this country, okay, the dollar is nothing more than monopoly money, literally. The biggest thing that backs the U.S. dollar is because it's the world reserve currency. What that means in a simple lay term, if you want to buy oil, if you want to buy a cup, especially like oil, and you have to use U.S. dollars to do it. You know that, and there's a thing called a SWIFT payment system. Okay, so that's primarily controlled by U.S. dollars. That's what props us up. The faith in that dollar, which is backed by this country's resources. But our money system has been turned over to this private entity called the Federal Reserves, who just go downstairs and print money out the blue. They just print like a dollar bill, or $100 bill, or a $20 bill, and they just throw it in circulation. They make money literally out of thin air. They counterfeit. If you and I did that, we would be in federal prison. But
Right.
they can do that. And they can not only they can print something out of thin air, and they can charge you interest on something they printed out of thin air.
Well, real quick, Joe, in the chat room, sorry to cut you off before I forget. In the chat room, people are already bringing up the whole, MLM is a Ponzi scheme, is a pyramid scheme. Do you want to address that, or do you want to continue?
Based on what? Based on what? I mean, okay.
Well, they haven't responded back yet because I put
okay.
that
I'm gonna be a little bit more harsher this time.
Go ahead.
That question right there. Okay, if you say it's a Ponzi scheme, what is your definition of a Ponzi scheme? If you're saying that MLM, and we're not an MLM company, we're a referral-based marketing company. But if you're going to make statements like that, do you have facts to back it up? I mean, come on, let's go ahead and do it. If you're going to come out, you're going to come off the hip and shoot and say like this is a Ponzi scheme, or all these things are no good and stuff like that. Do you got the facts to substantiate that? If I'm talking about Carrot Bars International, okay, and I'm talking about the company that I have the pleasure that has given me and my family financial freedom. Do you have the facts to substantiate your claim? Do you have that? Have you looked at the Carrot Bars opportunity? Do you have any gold in your possession? Have you been involved with this particular company? Now, I'm not talking about the other one. So what grounds are you making that statement on? Now, Ponzi scheme, I will address that rather than blow over it. Ponzi scheme means like this. Someone at the top derives their income solely by selling packages of goods or services. They can never be advanced over. People down at the bottom can never get to where they are. That a Ponzi scheme was what Bernie Madoff did. You know, people are constantly bringing money in order to pay out other people with the money they bring in, but no money's really being made. So what to give you an idea about Carrot Bars, the company was started in 2011 by a visionary named Harold Constantine Seitz. The company is based in Stuttgart, Germany. Since 2011, the company is totally debt free. The world headquarters is next to the Mercedes-Benz Corporation in Stuttgart, Germany. The company is the largest producer of small gold increments in the world. Now, that 1 gram, that one gold bar that a card I gave you, that was a gram. But the products are 1 gram of gold, 2.5 grams of gold, and 5 grams of gold. You buy it in small increment, because if you go down and buy a kilo of gold, which is like $41,000, how are you going to break that up if you want to buy goods and services? The company also owns two gold mines that we mine, you know, as far as our own gold, you know, as far as what we derive our product from. The company is also entered into the cryptocurrency sphere. The difference with our cryptocurrency, as opposed to a lot of other cryptocurrencies out there, is that our cryptocurrency is physically backed by gold. Our cryptocurrency is physically backed by a hard asset. The grandfather of them all, Bitcoin, and it's done tremendously well. I'm actually a proponent of it. I don't know enough to really talk about it, but they've done tremendously well. Bitcoin, you know, made over 23,000 millionaires. Okay, and so it's done well for those people who bought it for like 40 cents or 37 cents or all that. It's trading $11,000. You know, that's doing pretty good. But what we have two coins called the KCB, the Carrot Coin Bank Coin, and the KCB, which is currently offered right now, both backed by pure gold. Okay, which is an asset, which gold grows your wealth, you know, and that's only one component of it. So with the Ponzi scheme, no, I think a Ponzi scheme would be more like the corporate America. You know,
Fitzgerald, listen, I just said in the chat room that corporate America is one of the biggest Ponzi schemes known to man.
Well, why do you say that?
Well, I mean, number one, you don't see with opportunities like this, you get compensated fairly for the time and work you put in. And number two, for the majority of corporate American jobs, there's a cap on income. Now in sales, there's not, but at the end of each year, they really reevaluate your comp plan, and that could change. So they'll make it even harder for you to earn the income that you made the year previously. And then number two, again, your boss is not going to pay you enough where you can live in this subdivision. No, unless you replace him.
Yes, and you have a very good point right there. You know, you have a hierarchy. You have the presidents, the vice presidents, executive vice presidents, divisional leaders, regional leaders, divisional leaders, team leaders, and then you have you as the employee. Sure, sure, people have been promoted all the time. People have been, you know, go out there, but on a whole, you can't get to those positions, you know, based on you know, you got to wait till someone either fired out, dies out, or moves out. Now, with the corporate structure, they don't work for the employees; they work for the shareholders.
Say that again, Fitzgerald. We were just talking. Me and Susan were just talking about that. The stock price is number one. You know, stock price before I would say employee endearment. Stock price is number one. That's the most important thing. You just and me and Susan were just talking about that in the chat room.
They work for their shareholders. Their shareholders are the ones, you know what? Their shareholders are the ones that the executive board serves. You know, their shareholders. They look, and what are shareholders? Investors, people who have put capital in that business to make it go. They want a return on their money. And you know what? There's a reason why they have a department called Human Resources. Mm-hmm. Human resources. That's what you are. You're a human resource. You're a widget. Your job is to go out there and produce a certain amount of equity, a certain amount of return on investment. And oh, there's only so much we can pay you in order to maximize our profits, and you can't do that. Bye-bye. Okay, that's the way it is. I don't knock a man or a woman for their own game. They set the rules, and you go out there and say, please give me a job or hire or apply for one. Please give me this. Hey, you agreed to abide by their rules. You abide by their rules. When I'm talking to you, why don't you create something where you rule? Why don't you create something where you rule? Why don't you create something where you're building equity, ownership for you and your family? Why don't you create something where you're building wealth and residuals, royalties, and dividends for you and your family? You know, why don't you create that? In the Bible, in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, according to that book, there was a place called the Garden of Eden, and the Garden of Eden was fed by four rivers that ran into that that fed that. And so I took that years ago, is that you need to leave 4 streams of income for your garden. You need these 4 streams of income for your garden, be it real estate, being it gold, being it art, being an e-commerce company, whatever. But you have to have 4 streams of income for as I'm concerned to really be solid. You know, so I'm going to let you know right now, for what I do and what Dynast does, you know, with Carrot Bars, it's not going to be for everyone. As a matter of fact, we're really not looking for everyone. We're looking for people who want to change the trajectory in the course of their life and say, like, what if I could create something? Now, unlike the other companies that do with this referral-based marketing, the Carrot Bars product is money, gold. Okay, you don't want to talk to anyone? Great. If you just collect a gram of gold in your household, you're way ahead of 9 out of 10 people in the world. They don't own gold. You building your wealth right then. You know, if you say it's a scheme, okay, what's the worst you're going to wind up? Having a whole bunch of garage full of gold? That's a scheme. Okay, you get scheme. Gold that's delivered to you by FedEx. That's a scheme. You know, cash gold, where the gold is literally embedded in that note. You know, a 0.1 gram of cash gold. That gold is literally you take for your thing. Hey, it's still a scheme to you. You got a whole bunch of gold that you could turn in for goods and services. And you would still want to call it scheme after you are paid commissions. That you choose to build a team, you're paid commissions on a MasterCard. If MasterCard don't think it's a Ponzi scheme, because they're the one approved this out. This company pays out millions, tens of millions of dollars in commissions every dang month. You know, as far as that, in euros. So they don't think it's a scheme. The Vatican doesn't think it's a scheme. Say what you want about the Vaticans, but they are very skilled in making money. You know, Carrot Bars has already issued their own card to them. I think we're going on the 3rd run of that. And so people.
Oh, I didn't know that, Fitz. Can you?
Yeah, you can get your own branding card. You can actually, with you for your audience, you can actually have one of these branding cards. Search for Uru. And, you know, you can literally send them out as Christmas gifts, or send them out to your subscribers, or, you know, and they will come and go. You can get your own branding. You can do that for institutions as far as with that. Now, let's get back to the meat and potatoes, because I know a lot of people have in the interest of time. So let me get to the point. It's free to join. Free to join. It takes about 5 minutes. If you're a slow typer, if you're a fast typer, if you're a slow typer like myself, 10. You know, to set up your free, I repeat, free gold savings account. If you just save in gold, you know, a gram of gold every month, you're light ahead of others. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, 401 has been taking a pounding. The markets are convulsing. You know what is happening? What is happening with the tariff war? With what's going on between the U.S. and China? What is happening? War is rumors of war are going on again. This time with a more formidable foe called Iran or ancient Persia. You know, that's on. The markets are convulsing. Mutual funds, stocks, 401ks, they're all tied to the stock market, which is all tied to fiat currency. meaning US dollars. It's going up and down. But meanwhile, for those of you in the know, and go look at Bloomberg.com or CBSMarketWatch.com, even Forbes.com. Oh, by the way, to switch to Forbes, Forbes just recently wrote an article and said the Carrot Bars has one of the top 10 blockchains in all the world. And and I'll get back to that later. But how are you going to insure your wealth? Listen, you have house insurance, you have medical insurance, you have car insurance. You ever thought about having money insurance? New term, huh? You ever thought about having money insurance? Gold is money insurance. Gold has been money for the last 5,000 years, and it will continue to do so. Look around in neighborhoods and you see all these gold stores. We buy your gold. You think that's by coincidence? They understand that they understand what will you do if you go to a situation like Venezuela. What happened with Venezuela back a couple of years? Dinesh, you travel extensively through Africa. You're familiar with the hyperinflation that happened in Zimbabwe. Okay, right. We're a wheelbarrow full of money, and I'm not exaggerating, guys. We're a wheelbarrow full of money couldn't buy a loaf of bread.
It's toilet paper.
Okay, what about what had happened in Greece? Where people went there to make a run on the bank because they heard they heard confidence being lost in the banks. Banks told them you can only get so much of your own money. Well, how would you live? How would you live? Well, people. There are some people I know, and I'm not going to say I'm one of them. I don't got any gold. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, right here. But I know someone. So. If you have
real quick, Fitzgerald, real quick, Zimbabwe just banned all and finish. In fact, finish Fitzgerald. Then I got a couple questions. I don't want to interrupt you. It's just
if you have another calamity financial crash, and believe me, in this country, in this world, you will. U.S. is holding $23 trillion of debt. It's unsustainable. There's no way we can pay that back. The interest on the interest, already our great grandchildren yet to be born are still owe that debt. So there's no way we can pay it. But if you got, say, like for instance, something really comes down the pike that's the climactic, and it will, and you have 100 grams of gold in your possession, you can live. You can get goods and services. 100 grams of gold and a passport, I'm fine. A clean passport, I'm fine. Okay, and so this is what we're talking about, and to put it in more powerful ways and a more powerful example. Dynas back in let's say about like around 1920, give or take a few years. $600 US dollars was equivalent in $600 worth of gold, a kilo, which was about a kilo of gold, was the same purchasing power, because our money used to be backed by gold. It used to be backed by something. That's what made it so powerful. It was backed by gold. It's the same way that you have a check. I can't write you guys a check without having the money backing up. I'm in jail. And so with $600 in cash, $600 back in gold, I'll say about 1920, you could have went out and bought a brand new Ford for $600 in cash, $600 in gold. Okay. Fast forward back in around the 1970, about 72, 74, that range, President Nixon decided for some strange thing he is going to take the United States off the gold standard. He's going to take us off the gold standard. In other words, what backs up gold no longer does it. Okay, they put a moratorium on that, and they yet to reestablish that. That caused inflation. That caused slow inflation to start eating away at your dollars. Eating away at your wealth. I remember back in the late 70s, about like 78, 76. My father and mother would go into Kroger grocery store in Ohio, and father would take, and I'm not kidding you, he would come out there, we would come out there with 2 grocery carts of food, including stuff underneath Dynas, and stuff and Cheerios that I could sneak in there without daddy knowing it, to buy me stuff. We would come out with that. We had enough food to last a month and a half, just off $110. Father paid $25,000 for his home. Mom didn't have to work. He worked in manufacturing, probably making like 30 to 40,000 back then, but he had enough to sustain 3 sons, a wife, and pay for a home. I later asked, hey, Dad, how much you pay for that house in Malvern? He told me $25,000. It's probably like a 2,500 square foot home. Okay, that was back then. I went to Walmart or Publix just a couple days ago, and I came out with like 4 bags, and I got some walnuts, some pecans, some fruits and vegetables, and man, it cost me $48. And I didn't probably buy anything because why? Has the value has prices necessarily went up? No, but the purchasing power of the dollar has greatly went down. So getting back to the gold story, you fast forward now. Remember I told you back around in the 20s, a kilo of gold and $600 had the same purchasing power. Both would have bought you a brand new Ford, say at $600. Fast forward to 2019. Will $600 buy you a car now?
You could probably buy a used 1981 box Chevy with a motor blown out.
For $600.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but and very good point, Dinas. Very good point. Very good point. I'm going to let you smile, and then I'm going to take the smile away from you and your audience. And this is how I'm going to do it. You get that $600 Ford right now in 2019 terms is $40,000. But that kilo of gold will buy that car still today, because that kilo of gold is now worth $41,000 just sitting there. Other words, if you would have put your money in gold back then instead of saving in cash, you and your families, depending on how much you stacked away, would be multimillionaires. That's the power of gold. That's the power of what I'm talking. That's what the power of what I'm talking about right here. Gold is money. Are there any other questions in there?
Fitzgerald, if you want to go ahead and segue into the cryptocurrency portion of Karatbars.
Oh, thank you for that. I got so jacked about the gold, I forgot the cryptocurrency, because when I first got into this opportunity, make no doubt about it, it's an opportunity. And if you think you're just gonna get in this thing, you just sit back and not work, don't even bother. Nothing comes without work. Only place where success comes before work is in a dictionary. I know you guys heard that before, but it's true. Okay, so with cryptocurrency, the owner's vision was the owner, Mr. Sykes' vision was this. He wanted to get small increments of gold and make it affordable for everyone throughout the world. Karatbar does business in 175 countries. 175. Imagine that. Sitting from your computer or your cell phone, you can sit there and do business in 175 countries. And I don't care what country you go into the world. I don't care where you go into the world. If you mention gold, people generally know what the heck you're talking about. Everyone basically knows that. So we started seeing he wanted to really keep the focus on gold, but he could not deny the power of cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency, we saw what Bitcoin was doing, Ethereum, Litecoin. It's a whole lot of currencies out there, a whole lot of them up there. So what he decided is to create his own cryptocurrency. But here's the twist. Karatbar's cryptocurrency is backed by gold, by the gold mine that he owns, that the company owns, which has 2 of them, one in Madagascar, and I think the other one's in Guinea. I may be wrong with that, but he has two mines that we mine our own gold for. Karatbar also started a bank, the world's first cryptocurrency bank. It's down in Miami, Florida, about 4 hours away from me here in Tampa. I was there when we opened as far as like that. Plus, we created our own blockchain. Now, okay, Fitzgerald, get to the point. We see that Bitcoin, 23,000 millionaires. I told you that it made. $11,000 valuation. Dinas, I don't know if you go onto the thing and see what 1 Bitcoin is worth right now. It's probably done rent up and stuff. In its heyday, it was like $20,000. Okay, So wealth is being made. We see even banking institutions are going to cryptocurrency. It has become an acceptable form of payment. Why? Because it runs over the blockchain. What is the blockchain? The blockchain is secure your transactions, to facilitate information for us like that. So, and it's also decentralized. That's a very important term, because if I get ready to send a search for Uru, if I send them, hello?
I'm right here. I'm right here. Go ahead. Can you hear me? Fitzgerald.
Okay, if I send over yes, if I send 10,000, yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, if I send $10,000, my account's automatically flagged. Okay, people want to know what I'm doing with my own money. They can actually freeze my accounts. They can actually stop me in the facilitation of business. In the world, they call it sanctions. The U.S. has that down to a science. You know, they can put sanctions on countries or individuals, freezing accounts today. With the block, you can't do that, because there's not one person controls it. There's not one entity control it. It's decentralized. So therefore, if I want to send someone a certain amount of value, a certain amount of wealth, say like $500,000, I can do it with, it's my business. The business between me and the sender, and the receiver rather, because it works what's called by a smart contract. And so it gives me total privacy. Okay, imagine having a phone that does that. Like Karatbar has a phone that, is the world's first crypto coin that I can facilitate transactions privately, NSA, military installations. No one can hack into it. No one can break into it. It makes my phone bill somewhere like $10 a month. I'll have that. I'll have that total complete privacy. There's a thing also that's related to the blockchains called Ether wallets. Ether wallets is a digital bank account that you have to have a private key in order to access it. If you don't have that key, even the holder can't get into it. So you got that. So you got that security. You got that influence. Now we already see. Karatbar came out with their first coin, the KBC coin, in back around early 2018. I also got a call from my friend Michael, and he told me, "Hey Fitzgerald, this is coming. I need you to get 24 hours and give me some time to think about what you want to do." I said, "Mike, I don't need 24 hours. I can tell you my answer right now. I want to get in. I already have saw Bitcoin, what Bitcoin was doing. Actually, I missed the first Bitcoin wave. I had a younger cousin call me from Alabama, and she said, Fitzgerald, I have something called Bitcoin. Well, I didn't understand. I said, "Oh, that's cool, dear. I mean, I don't know." In my ignorance, I didn't even take time to look at what I didn't know. I didn't even take time to find out what I didn't know. Well, she made out pretty good far as that. I missed that boat. So what really motivated me and moved me, Dynas? Simple. I have been in high power sales for a huge majority of my career. Doing the sales portion. All of a sudden, I'm getting up to retirement, and I have no money. I have no savings. See, sales is a wonderful thing to do, but if you're a worker, you only get paid. You get paid for what you've done. It's a one-time payout, maybe some residuals, but you don't have no security there. So here I am, about not too far from retirement, and I'm getting concerned because I don't have any money. I'm operating off my good looks and my skills, and the looks are going down. In the skills, they're not bringing proper market value because they're looking to get someone younger where they can pay them less. So I had to find something. And so I went to work with this. And I went to work by following Michael's coattail, following Ty Bess's coattail, following Sherry Brown, Sadisha Glassman coattail. And these are leaders within Karatbar's in the wealth builder system. And then I became what they did. Look, that little cryptocurrency that I bought for less than half of a penny, it's trading somewhere. The first one is trading somewhere about 8 cents. Now, don't let that fool you. Don't let that fool you. With the holdings of someone who I know that looks like me, that is significant. Okay, that is very significant. The second, so that train has left the station right now. The second is called the KCB. I also got a hold of that. I bought it for less than half a penny. That's currently trading right now at 14 cents. I was looking in a wallet, I ain't going to say myself, but someone I know. That wallet was holding that wallet was holding very, very good figures in it. Ladies and gentlemen, I started that thing back in 2018. And keep in mind, I was collecting gold. From 2018 to right now, I have made more money than my entire working career in any affiliate marketing program I've been involved with. And come July 4th, it even gets gooder and gooder, Mr. Dinas Amir, because our illustrious owner, Dr. Harold Constantine Sight, he said, hey, for every 100 KBCs you have, I'm going to give you the equivalent of a gram of gold. Gram of gold is selling at $42.50 right now. I got at least 100. So you take that and divide in the number of coins that you would have, and times that by 42. Let's just say come the 4th of July, I'm going to have a different smile on my face. And then it's only going to go up. In the year 2023, and this isn't right. We back up. This man does what he said he's going to do. In 2023, for every coin you have is going to be equivalent to a gram of gold. One coin, 1 gram of gold. It's some people in Carat Bars that has over 10 million coins. It's some people in Carat Bars that has 1 billion coins, 500 million coins, 200 million. And say, well, Fitzgerald, those returns are kind of crazy. How do you? Man, sometimes they pay people on Wall Street. Their bonuses at Christmas can sometimes be 15 to 20 million. Just their bonuses. No, money is flowing out there, but you got to be in the places where it goes. Wealth never disappears. It just changes hands. And I'm telling you, the crypto sphere is here to stay. Facebook is even talking about starting their own cryptocurrency. They're calling it Libra. Apple is talking about starting theirs. Forbes has endorsed this. Bank of America, a lot of these banks that used to be so bullish and so much against it, you start seeing quietly now they're coming on board. Chase is coming aboard. Now, in addition to that, Carat Bars also created their own blockchain. So what does that mean? Well, that's a form of exchange. You have, Coinbase is a form of exchange. In other words, where you can put on there and you can buy certain coins up. It's like a trading station. Okay. Now ours is going to have some of the lowest, if not the lowest fees in the market. So we can go out there easy, sign like an Amazon, MSN. We can sign up big corporations, the mom and pop stuff like that. That allows their store to take cryptocurrency, KBCs, for our payment of goods and services. Incidentally, we also have our Carat Pay. Carat Pay is an exchange where from my Carat Pay account, can send gold in payment to Dynas's Carat Pay account. It's like PayPal on steroids. This is all free of charge. If you want to build now another form of income, you can choose to get what's called a business packet, like I have and Dynas has, and that opens up another stream of income. Remember what I told you guys about leverage? You can sit around in here, and now by acquiring a business package one time out your pocket, you can actually get a percentage of people who are setting their business accounts up and volume moving through their group. Because a certain percentage are coming up that. In other words, think of it like those are like franchises, but it's not your franchise, it's theirs. Because you help set it up, you get a percentage of that. You also can leave it to your family, your wife and children, or your grandchildren. So once it's a business that's going to keep continually growing, building equity, and you can also sell it like the asset that it is. Carat Bars is practically incredible. With the website, no fees for it. The accounting, no fees for it. There's no monthly fees. There's no minimums, no maximums for the amount of gold you want to buy. You buy what you want, when you want, how you want. You don't have to go out and build a group like Dynas and I are doing, and building a team. You got 175 countries, But I say this: if not this, what? What are you going to do to change your situation? I had to take action. I'm telling you guys, in less than 24 months, I totally changed the trajectory of my financial future. That's 24 months. We got people. Michael Delco, my friend, he was a mortgage banker at one of the well-known banks in the world. In 103 days, he had replaced his 6-figure income.
Hello. Can you hear me, Fitzgerald? Hello.
Fitzgerald. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm gonna say 5 minutes and I have to go get my answer.
Yes.
But go ahead.
Well, but okay, now to take action, Dynas, I would like you to put your link up there. Dynas is the one that bought this program. I'm talking to his audience. Okay, so what I want you to do, you can take action now. Go ahead and sign up your free, Carrot Bar Gold affiliate account. You just where you just click go. When I say free, it's free. Dynas, I further want you to put my number to your audience, 716 573 6296. Okay. And my email address is Fitzgerald, Fitzgerald. I check them rapidly and often throughout the day. So what you would do, you would go ahead and establish your account under Dynas's Amir. I in turn will supply support to you because I help Dynas, and that's the way I help my family. I have to help him. And you have to help someone else. And so you can contact me directly in the event that once you get your account set up, what I want you to do, reference this stream and say, Fitzgerald, I heard you and Dynas talking right here, and I want to know how to get started. What do I do next? And I will literally take you step by step and hand by hand and show you how to be successful. You know what? Some people who make an extra $500 to $1,000 a month would totally change your financial life. It'll take so much pressure off of you. Make what you want. Do what you want. Do a little, do a lot, but do something. Dynas, I'm finished.
Okay, Fitzgerald Stephens, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's an honor and a pleasure to have you on. And you will be back on next week, brother. I really appreciate it.
Yes,
guys,
sir.
everyone, thank you so much for joining. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share the video. Also, make sure you go to my referral link. I'll put it in the chat room. It'll also be in the description box, along with Fitzgerald's number. So if you have any questions, please reach out to Brother Fitzgerald. Even though he's an Alabama fan, he's still cool with us. Even though he's Alabama alumni, he's still cool with us. We still love the brother. Like I said, we all make mistakes. It's okay.
Dynas, thank you for trusting me with your audience and for everyone who listens. Please, I want to thank you guys for your time. Just for the ones who I gave some bones to, spit it out and take the meat. But make no doubt about it, I am sincere, and Dynas is sincere to helping you and your family get out of this rat race.
Absolutely, get out of the rat race. There we go. So, guys, hit that like button, like, share, subscribe. If you have any questions after you've signed up via my referral link, please hit up Fitzgerald. Until next time, family, Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Peace.